All right, so our first exercise for chest training is going to be the incline hammer press. Now this is a selectorized, so this is a pin loaded machine. And what I'll do with this is I'll do 2 field sets, 2 warm-up sets, and go into mainly 3 working sets. Now all my sets consist of 12, 15 reps, sometimes 10. I mean, I kind of switch around depending on how I am that day. So I just completed 2 warm-up sets. Now I'll pyramid the weight up. So when I say pyramid, I'll probably go up at least, 10 pounds each side, because this is an isolateral. Now some of you guys do this single arm at a time. I still prefer the double. But what's nice about this is we always have one side that is stronger than the other. So it does give that ability. That's what I love about using dumbbells and certain machines rather than just strict barbell, because you can get that isolation to each side depending on your strength pattern. And I think that's really important, especially you guys trying to train smart, injury-free, or working around, aches and pains or injuries. And sometimes that can happen as you get a little older. Sometimes, certain cycles of your training, you do have to cycle how heavy you go, but try to stay moderate to heavy consistently. But listen, some days you're gonna go in the gym, you're not gonna go full force. Today is one of those days where I feel good, but I'm not gonna do any weight records today. And you guys have seen in the past, I've had the mindset going in and being like, I'm just gonna do this crazy amount of weight today. Sometimes it's the ego, but you gotta check the ego, leave it at the door when you walk in the gym, and just focus on those contractions. So the goal is to hit my chin with my chest. We never use this machine, so this is a isolateral bench press.
Hammer strength, right?
Yeah, so I've been doing this standing, is that Elevation or Strength Culture? They have this standing.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yes.
So this is similar to that, which I kind of like, kind of just being in this seated position. We do all the dumbbell work, we do all the barbells. I was maybe thinking about using that Smith machine. I guess that's called a Freedom Rack. But I want to do this today, just because it's a little different. What I like about this, once again, it's an isolateral movement. So you can be, if you're stronger. And we'll do 3 sets here. We're gonna start with 2 plates aside, and then we'll do a little pyramiding probably, depending on how this weight feels. Let me see how this feels. So what I'll do is I'll drop the seat down pretty low. Not all the way down, but pretty close to pretty low, just so I can get that contraction. Remember, hands mid-range here, so pay attention to, I see a lot of people pushing here, more triceps, so more pecs. Drop down. Okay, contract. 3. All right, so we're gonna do your favorite exercise. The dumbbell fly. Tell me why this is your favorite exercise.
It's a good feeling when you open up.
But it's
the
easiest.
Yeah. Oh God.
This is definitely Merlin approved, okay? So you can send them this clip. All right, so we are gonna do a dumbbell fly, and what I have in front of me is called the J bell, the J Cutler bells, okay? So this is actually like a bowling ball. You actually put your hand down inside. And you guys had asked about these dumbbells. When I let this go, it falls out. Your hand falls out of them. So I know there was concern, doesn't it pull on your wrist, whatnot. When you let this go, it does have padding around the edge, but it just drops out. But what's nice about this, you get the same feel all the way around. So no matter what the position is, sometimes when you do flies with dumbbells, if they tilt or whatnot, it tends to drag more pressure on certain fibers of the arm and whatnot, where this is just a constant feel. And what I love about this is yes, they're round, so you don't have that kind of lopsided, uneven, awkward.
More balanced.
Yeah, it's just there's better balance. So I think that ideally, I love to do these. I mean, I don't have enough in here to actually press with because these only go up to like 45 or something here in the gym.
Okay.
I think these are in kilos right now, but I'm gonna do some 5 movements, and with these, I do 3 sets of 10, 12, 15 reps. I always talk about 12 reps as a necessity. I always aim for 12, but sometimes I fall short, go a little higher because of the weight variance and not being extremely heavy. Not that I train that heavy these days, but I'm gonna get that full contraction. And when I come up, I'm really gonna squeeze the chest. Not actually, like I always say, don't touch the things together and take the tension and, or do too much to bring the triceps in. I'm trying to work all the chest and keep everything else out, which is almost impossible, but I'm gonna do my best to really get that mind to muscle connection and get the best feel, best stretch. I've already done all the pressing exercises, so now I wanna stretch this bad boy out and check out my form. All right, so we're gonna do the Atlantis fly. Now this is a pec deck. So cable crossovers is probably the most go-to exercise, whether you do the low cables, the higher cables, any kind of a fly movement. So I always talk about going through the movements, really getting the blood in there. So most of the time, our more compound exercise are gonna get the best blood flow with the heaviest, touch those fibers with the heavy weight. So dumbbell presses, barbell presses, machine presses, really stimulate, hitting those fibers. And then we stretch it out with the flies. We just did some dumbbell flies, but this is gonna be our final exercise for today. And this is more imitating, I would guess, a cable machine. But what I love about this is it's a selectorized piece. Atlantis makes some amazing equipment. And ideally, because you can raise the platform, so depending on your height, I like the platform at a mid-range here. I'm about 5'9", so that allows me to really get that contraction and really squeeze and really get the outer pecs, the lower pecs. You guys constantly ask me about those lower pecs. This would be a great exercise for that. Ideally, the only way to really get that chiseled line is to stay on a great diet. Okay, you have to be cut enough to really get that, keep the midsection tight. I always said that if you want to be in the ideal body fat level year round, you should be having visible abs. If you're not having visible abs, do not go into a bulking season or, what we call off season. I would try to stay on some sort of a diet or nutrition program that allows you, or cardio program training, that allows you to stay lean enough so you can see, your midsection. You can see, obviously I'm pretty lean, but ideally to show your abs year round. Okay, that's the ideal. You never want to get, fluffy.
Too far off.
Yeah, fluffy. So we're gonna do this exercise 3 sets. We're gonna probably stay with about the same weight. So this is about like 150. And what I'm gonna do is just really just kind of squeeze. You'll see me get in there, really get the body position right, step up to the machine, get that contraction, and see how many reps we can do. All right, once again, the hands are at the midway, guys. So halfway on the handles, if you notice, not at the edge or not at the very end. So I'm definitely going to pyramid the weight up a little bit. This is a great starting weight though. You see me leaning a little bit, get that contraction really to, if I feel a little lighter on the first set, I do a little more squeezing to really get that feel. Okay, I need to go up a little bit. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up, and I wanna kind of just a little recap what we do. So we started with the Incline hammer machine, which is a selectorized piece here at the Kilo Club. So 2 warm-up sets, 2 field sets. Then I did 3 working sets, pyramiding the weight up. Felt really good, get the blood going. If you notice, my chest is really contracting on this. mainly focused on the upper chest, okay? Second exercise was the hammer strength kind of upright press, which is another isolateral. It is a plate loaded machine. This is focusing more on the mid-range chest, lower chest, upper chest. But once again, this is a little different variation than the past. Still focus on 10 or 12 reps here, really getting the feel. By this point, the blood is kind of flowing, everything's pretty solid. Then we moved over to our flies, which we did with the J-bells, which I did those on a flat bench. What I really like about this is, like I said, it's very balanced and it's very neutral to my wrists. So I did 3 working sets there, basically the same weight because, like I said, the weight is a little limited, getting that nice stretch. And then lastly, we moved over to the Atlantis fly machine. Now I put 2 fly presses in there and then 2 pressing machines in there. So this Atlantis machine really gets that contraction, really feeling, the fibers work, lower chest, outer chest. Like I said, you can raise that platform, which is really nice. Allowed us the flexibility to be able to get in there, get that nice stretch. I feel a good pump.